Jill Smith asked how to build a snare. What's the best way to build a snare for dummies? And I would. I do not build my own snares. It's not that I haven't made snares before, but all my wolf snare, pretty much all my wolf snares and snares I use for beaver and stuff like that. I just buy them. I don't. I've looked at the prices of snares versus making them, and then when you consider all the making them, it's pretty simple to make them and stuff. But I just buy them all. The companies that make them, they're really good. You're not gonna, there's a lot of different companies that make them, and they make them different ways, and you got a good selection of different type made snares, and they're good quality. After all these years, they know how to make them good, and it's not. It's just not something I have a lot of experience with making, or would advise somebody. I mean, I just buy them. Ken Seelman asks, is there any concern for my way of life? And I'm sure I'll probably be able to live out my days doing what I'm doing. I do have a concern for the way of life being able to continue much longer. Take trapping. If I go back 30 years ago, I could make some of the animals, when I would sell them 30 years ago, I would get more money for them then than I do now. And you figure in inflation, and that's pretty ridiculous. And there's a few animals that have, that you do get more money for nowadays. Sometimes if the market's really good, you're doing pretty good actually. But like right now, the market's all depressed, and I'm not making too much more for even those animals than I was 40 years ago. So that hurts. You got inflation. You got things costing. You have snow machines that cost 5 times as much money now as they did back then. You have everything in life costing so much more than you did way back then. Gasoline is 10 times more than it was 40 years ago. So things like that. And fishing is the same way, with all the competition from commercial fishing now and stuff. Being able to sell fish subsistence wise is, that's under attack. Customary trade is what we call it up here, where just a regular person without a license will put up some fish, and they'll have whatever's extra they'll be able to sell to their neighbor or people. That's how a lot of people used to live up here. They would cut wood, they would fish, do customary trade, they would trap, and whatever other odd jobs they could do, and that's how they lived. And now all those things are much more difficult to do, and there's much less people doing them because of that. And Mike Hall is asking, what do I think about the new road from the closest village 65 miles away to Tanana, that new road? And I've said it a number of times that if it had been up to me, I wouldn't have voted for a road, but the community was a little more than 50% in favor of the road, and so that's why they put the road where they did. It could have been, the state is trying to put a road across the state of Alaska to a lot of the mining grounds up north to allow them to open up more. And we could have probably kept the road, further away from Tanana. But as it is, I don't think it's until things get underway here a lot, I don't think we're going to see too much changes. It's probably going to be a little bit of conflicts with some of the trappers, people coming in trapping. But other than that, I don't see a lot of change. The road comes into the Yukon River on the other side of the Yukon. We're on the north side. It'll come in on the south side, about 6 miles upriver from here. The only way there's going to be any traffic into the village is during the months of December, January, February, March, April. And then after that, there's not going to be any ice on the river, so there's not going to be any way to drive across the river. So anybody that drives down the road to the Yukon River is going to get stopped there, and they're going to have to get somebody to give them a boat ride into Tanana, something like that. So, and it's a small single lane, really rough at times road. 3 vehicles got swept off the road crossing a creek this summer that I know of. I just heard 2 days ago that the ice that was forming, glaciering over the road from one of the creeks, one of the trucks dropped through that and couldn't get out. This was just a couple of days ago. Vehicles trying to travel the road, and even now, right now, the road is not, the ice on the Yukon River is not safe enough to allow vehicles to come across. So even though the Yukon is frozen, snow machines can get over there. A truck couldn't. So I just don't see a lot of impact right at the present time.